Now we're rolling. Damage Plan MMA podcast. I am Jason Laporte. As always, my co-host, Zach Partridge.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
You know, I'm feeling a little down. You know, your son kicked my butt in UFC Saturday.
It took a while to finally get the matchup set up, and when it did. Well, let's just call it how it was. You beat him.
Yeah.
You submitted him first.
He brought out the big guns.
And then he brought out his created character that is impossible to put away. Don't worry, you're not the first person. I have fallen to that character many times with everybody and anybody.
I think I knocked him down like 8 times.
Oh yeah.
It didn't matter. The guy was not losing. Like, he was not losing that fight.
Let's be fair. You were Tim Means. Maybe if you would have been like a top tier welterweight, you would have had a chance.
Clearly, USADA did not test him before that fight.
No,
he's not been tested.
He does not get the USADA testing that's for sure.
He's not in the pool. But so I got my character ready to go. So when we're ready for a rematch, I have my character who is not in the USADA pool.
Oh boy.
And he's ready to go.
Oh boy.
He actually looks just like Hunter's character, but he's all tatted up. It's the same basic guy. It's just my guy's all tatted up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when men in their 40s pick fights with 8-year-olds.
Pick fights with 8-year-olds. Hey, he can talk trash with the best of them, though.
He is a little trash talker. I have no idea where he got that from.
Yeah. I'm trying to share this to your page real quick so that people can comment from your page.
Okay.
So we had some fights this weekend.
Yeah, good fights. Pretty good fights.
I wanted to talk a little bit before we get into the pay-per-view, talk about the LFA fights on Friday night. And we had Alex Pereira making his LFA debut. And for those of you that don't know, Alex Pereira is the guy that has beaten Israel Adesanya twice in kickboxing matches.
One by decision, unanimous decision, and one by
KO. And not that long ago, 3.5 years ago, 3.5 years ago,
right before Izzy made the jump.
Yeah, he's only 3-1 in MMA, but after what, I think that guy's still out. Like, in all fairness, I will say that was scary. I've never seen anybody lay flat like that for 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like that was a legit 4 or 5 minutes. I think face down.
I've never seen somebody out that long after an MMA fight from a little check hook punch.
And he didn't know where he was. He didn't even know he was fighting when he came to. He's like, "What? I'm fighting?" Like, he had no clue he was even fighting. Yeah, right high kick to left hook, and face
down.
I mean, sign this guy right now. Bring this guy in the UFC? Put him with the top 15 guy right now.
Alex Pereira. Let me.
He's got like 50 pro combat sports. Hang on, I need to close my vent. Go ahead, keep talking.
Alex Pereira is right. So he's a kickboxer, but coming over, he's now 3-1 in MMA. Let's see, that's his first MMA fight in a while. That was his first MMA fight in a while, but he is on a 3-fight MMA winning streak. And so that would make him eligible, I believe, for the Dana White Contender Series.
So you know how LFA's been kind of calling a few people around to fill some slots for their January card. What if Aldo gets a call and says, "Hey, Zach, you want to make your pro debut against Alex Pereira?"
Against a 3-1 guy?
Oh, man. If you didn't know who he was, you'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take that fight. I want the challenge."
That poor guy that took that fight. But you know what? So, okay.
The guy was only 4-4, but do you not take into account his resume with Glory before you match him up with a guy that's 4-4?
Well, okay, let's just play devil's advocate real quick. Let me just play devil's advocate.
Yeah, you go ahead.
If you're and turn your phone off, we're recording.
Sorry.
Sorry.
I don't even know who it is.
But Thomas Diamond Powell, okay? He's 25. You know, he's a well-built guy. You know, he's strong. He looks athletic. he's probably sitting there going, this kickboxer knows nothing about MMA. I don't care if he's knocked out Israel Adesanya. If I beat him, now everybody's talking about me. And these guys, you got to understand, MMA fighters, different breed, with the right preparation, they feel like they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I tried to take a fight once that, looking back, I'm like, it's probably a good thing Aldo told me no. Like, the guy was huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
And he's sitting there going, there was no downside for taking this fight for Thomas Powell, other than the fact that he didn't wake up for 5 minutes. I mean, I guess we don't know the lasting effects of that concussion. Maybe he never fights again. But I'm just saying, I mean, the upside is, and it's not like Alex Pereira is unbeatable. He's lost.
If you're making that fight, though, I mean, if you're a matchmaker, are you taking in consideration his kickboxing?
Of course. You have to. But what I'm saying is, they're probably having a hard time finding somebody that's willing to take that fight. And they just found an irrational confidence guy who believes in himself, which is cool. We're fighters. He's probably a type A personality. He was super confident. He didn't look scared in there. You know,
he really didn't.
He didn't look scared or intimidated or like, oh, I have this guy that knocked out Israel Adesanya. He looked like a guy he's like, man, you know what? If I knock this guy out, like, I'm going to be the guy everybody's talking about. And there's levels to this, and the fact that he didn't get it in the clinch and couldn't take him down or do any of that, and didn't really seem like he tried, you know, he got his lights shut off. But yeah, I mean, you've been pretty critical of like the Dana White Contender Series, things like that, similar to this, right? About matchups.
Yeah, a
lot of these guys that are poor matchups.
Yeah,
man, you're just trying to make a name for yourself. We can go right into UFC 255. Sasha Plantinovic was brought in to get murdered by Luis Koski.
He was, and I kind of second guessed that when we talked about it. I'm like, oh man, this guy's got a little experience.
Right.
He's rangy. He's long.
I mean, there's levels, and we get it, and sometimes we misjudge those levels. Well, you know who believes that they're not, no matter what, they're not going to believe that they're levels below a guy. A lot of MMA fighters. I agree. I am the perfect example of my last opponent. There are people out there, and we know who it is, and who said things to us directly, to my face, and to you, and to other people. And I heard it from at least 8 different people, including a guy at my own gym that was like, man, that's a tough matchup for you, you know, or it's a bad matchup. Yeah. Right. But guess what? I heard all of it, and I still believe 100% I was going to win that fight.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you there. There's not very many guys size-wise that match up to Izzy in the UFC right now. Like, as far as the length, the height at that 185, this guy's a splitting image. Like, and you could probably say, I mean, I'd like to see him next to each other, but looking at Pereira on Friday, you can probably say he's built a little more solid, but same reach, same height. Like, ooh, Contender Series next, then, right?
I would think so. I would think so. I mean, here's the other thing you have to take into consideration with Alex Pereira, and this is the most run we've ever given anybody with 4 MMA fights ever on the show.
Sorry.
No, it's cool. He wants to fight Izzy, and he's talked about it. He goes, he's following him to MMA, and he wants to do it too. Unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going to get the opportunity, because it's going to take him probably 3 or 4 years to build up his MMA record to be able to justify that.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, he's not going to be able to build. He has to build his record. And
Chimaev.
Oh my gosh.
He could pull a Chimaev. You can't tell me this guy can't come in with his pedigree, with his background, and can't come in and make waves.
But here's the problem, and he's going to run into the same problem as Chimaev. And you're right. Is everybody just watch that knockout? He will not get another fight in LFA. Nobody's going to agree to fight him.
Yeah, he's done an LFA. It's got to be Contender Series, or get him on an undercard and see what he can do. I think even skip the Contender Series. Skip it. Get him right in the UFC, put him on the undercard, throw him in there, within 2 or 3 fights, he'll be up there. All right, enough ranting about this Alex Pereira guy. But if you haven't watched the knockout, you'll know why we're talking about this for so long.
You should go watch it. But you know what I mean? Like he could be an exact Chimaev thing just because it's like he knocked him out so bad. It's going to be he's going to have a hard time starting to find fights. But no, he's going to go on the Dana White Contender Series. You cannot put a 3-1 guy in the middleweight division in the UFC.
And a guy with how many fights? How many kickboxing fights?
No.
What was Chimaev when he went in? He didn't have a very impressive record.
He was at least 6-0 though, right?
Well, I don't remember. Let's talk about the fights on Saturday. We don't need to argue about freaking Alex Pereira.
Well, he might be the next Izzy though.
He's got the look like it's going to be hard to find somebody to fight him. Even on the Contender Series, I think, unless you get a guy like he just fought.
No, but you'll get guys that shouldn't be fighting him that'll fight him because the risk is worth the reward. If they go and they're the guy that beats Alex Pereira, then and you're going to get some wrestler or some jiu-jitsu player or whatever. I guarantee it that's going to be like, I could beat that guy. And they're going to try and make their name off of him, and they're probably going to get knocked out.
Yeah. Well, we started off UFC 255 on fire Saturday night with Luis Koska and Sasha Palatnikov. Did I say that right? Palatnikov? Close enough.
Pretty close.
That was a fun fight. I think if you go back and read your text, I was like, "Oh, this is over. This fight's over." And then 30 seconds later, it ain't over, and the other guy's winning now.
Gassed out.
We both called that one wrong.
Yeah, Chimaev was 6-0, by the way.
Was he?
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, we both called it wrong. I mean, and it looked like Luis had him out, right? But just couldn't get it done. I think that there's something to be said for these guys that are just. I mean, he was impressive because he knocked everybody out in the first round except one guy in the second round.
Yep.
And you get to a level where you get to a level where you can't just put somebody away like that and they don't mentally break.
Yep.
And he ran into that and he gassed out.
He did. That was the difference in the fight. Well, and let's face it, Sasha, he looked good. He was a long, rangy fighter, and that was a great way to start the pay-per-view off, even though we lost our parlay, as did everybody else. I think that was betting on Saturdays.
Yeah, I mean that's a big upset. But you get two unknowns, and
yeah,
it just is what it is. But I mean that's what's so fun about MMA, though, right?
It really is. It really is.
For as mismatched as they are,
that's why you got to do your homework. And even if you do your homework like we did,
you still get
the shaft sometimes. Cal Dawkins and Stoltzfus. I actually missed that fight because I went and got food at Goodwood Barbecue, but I heard it was a pretty boring decision. I don't know if it was like boring. Did I use the word boring? I don't know. I just said that. I think some people were tweeting it.
I mean, they were trying. Dukakis was the better fighter, and I don't know.
Which we knew.
Big. He's just so big and long, but he just couldn't put him away.
Which we knew. I think we both were riding with Dawkins on that one. We thought he'd finish it, but
yep.
Alan Jubain and Jared Gooden. Shout out to Jared Gooden. I know he's not listening, but he added me on Facebook.
Great fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight.
It was a great fight. And remember, I was split on. I really liked Alan Jubain. I love Jubain.
Yes.
But I was a little bit worried that at 38 years old, the young lion, hungry lion, would be able to come in and put him away. I think they were both hurt multiple times in this fight.
I think Jared seemed to start a little slow that first round too.
Yeah.
But great fight once again. Daniel Rodriguez, Nicholas Dalby. I was sleeping on Dalby on that one. I thought Daniel Rodriguez would do it, and I don't agree with the 30-27 judge, but I do definitely think that Dalby, he won the fight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to fight too much. I don't get too mad at when judges say 30-27 versus 29-28, and it's whatever. One thing I would be curious is, do judges have to turn in their scores after each round, or do they add them up after the whole thing?
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe we need to reach out to Scott Bowler and ask him.
That would be interesting to me because I think if you watch it round by round, it's pretty. I think you could easily say Dalby won all 3 rounds.
I thought Rodriguez won the second. Was
Okay.
the one that I thought.
Okay.
I didn't think that
But
that was.
sometimes I feel like sometimes if it's a close fight, but the guy edges out 3 rounds, people still think, well, that was pretty close. So it's probably 29-28.
Yeah.
And Rodriguez was never really hurt in that fight, but dude, Dalby, his little karate style kicks with his range and stuff, he was very effective.
So I didn't start the night off too good because I didn't get that one right either. And the next fight, I was totally wrong on that one. That was like my first official.
That was a bad L for both.
And that was a bad L.
And I followed you on this one, but I'm not dogging on you because I thought the same thing. Because Antonio Shevchenko, she got mauled her last fight on the ground. And Lipsky is a jiu-jitsu specialist, and so we figured she'd just get mauled again. And she looked phenomenal on the ground. It's so
impressed.
crazy.
I was impressed with Shevchenko. Like her top game, like she got her down and did what she needed to do.
I just wonder if her success is totally reliant on being top or bottom. If you can be if she might be one of those girls, and some people are, they're very comfortable being on top and control, and they're very hard to get off. But if they're on their back, they struggle, right?
Yeah.
We see that a lot with wrestlers. Wrestlers kind of panic when they're on their back. They don't really know what to do, and they kind of freeze up.
Yeah, it was a good fight, entertaining.
Yeah.
Jordan Wright, Quinn Buckley was next. Buckley with another freaking highlight reel KO.
Okay, we were both dead wrong on this one.
I kind of took I didn't bet it, but I did take.
Oh, I did.
I took a chance, man. I thought Jordan Wright would come in and surprise some people, but man, Buckley's. I'm on it, man. I'm riding the train now. He's
so you have to make Buckley versus James Krause now, right?
You got to do it. You got to do it after everything that they've been jawing back and forth to each other.
For people that don't know, James Krause kind of talked a bunch of smack on Buckley after Buckley's highlight knockout.
Yeah.
James Krause calls out Buckley and says, Buckley asked to come train in my gym, and I told him no. Right? And talked about how he isn't worth bleep and just pretty much dogged on him.
Because of his work ethic.
Yeah. And then, so Buckley went off on James Krause after. Wouldn't say his name. So James Krause says, say my name on Twitter. Dude, you got to make that fight.
I still think he's going to run into trouble as he starts getting into those higher ranks. Because
I'm riding with James Krause 100% on this.
I am too. But Buckley, I mean, even if he gets by James Krause, once he starts getting in there with some of those bigger 185 guys, I just don't think I don't think he's going to have the size to compete with like an Izzy.
Well, stop it. He's 26 years old.
Yeah.
But you got to remember too, he is young.
Yeah.
And we already saw him. When he reaches a guy with range. Like Kevin Holland kind of pieced him up. I mean, I know it was short notice, but Kevin Holland made it look pretty easy.
Yeah.
And I even think if on a full fight camp, that fight still looks pretty similar for Buckley.
Yep. I agree.
So we'll see. Maybe you can find a home down at 170. He looks like more like a 170er. I
think he'd be a huge 170er if he can make it. He'd have to.
He's only 5'9".
I know. He'd have to sacrifice a little bit of muscle because he's pretty big, pretty solid dude.
But I've been impressed with his cardio. Like he carries everything. Like, James Krause, I get it. Knows obviously way more than I do, but he looks like a guy that maybe he didn't used to put in the work, but he looks like a guy that's putting it in now.
Yeah, you can see it. He impressed me with the Jordan Wright knockout. 2 fights in a row.
The big thing for me was, right, he was the talk of MMA for an entire weekend.
Yeah.
Almost a whole week, right? And they're going to be playing that highlight forever, just like the Conor Jose Aldo knockout, the Anderson Silva Forrest Griffin knockout, all those highlight reel knockouts. Like his knockout now is like, it's right in there with him of like great knockouts to watch. To follow that up with the performance that he did to show that he didn't lose focus.
Yeah.
That's what makes me want to buy a little bit of more Joaquin Buckley stock. Cause I think it would have been really easy for him to come in and have a lackluster performance because he was drinking his own Kool-Aid too much.
Well, was one of the reasons I was going with Jordan Wright, because of that exact reason. So props to him. The next fight, we thought it was going to be the fight of the night. Unfortunately, we had a freak shoulder injury derail our fight of the night hopes. But I think from what we saw, I think regardless, Moreno was going to win that fight regardless. I think he's, like we say, there's levels to this. And I just think Moreno's just a little bit better.
Said it before.
Right now, that could change.
Said it before. Said it before last week, and I'm going to say it again right now. Brandon Moreno was 1A, 1B, the best flyweight on this card. And he should have been fighting in that main event, not Alex Perez.
Does he have a shot?
Yeah.
Next month?
Absolutely.
I'd like to see where the odds come in on that one.
He absolutely has a shot.
That's going to be a good freaking fight.
It's a great fight.
Great fight. I mean,
I'll tell you what. We'll get to the main event and we'll talk about it. But great performance by Brandon Moreno. He's a killer. He's a dog. If you didn't pay attention or you didn't see the fight, when he smelt blood in the water, man, he finished like a savage.
I like that. The kid is relentless.
Killer instinct. Whew.
And we were both all over him pretty much all week. I saw a lot of people on Twitter showing some love for Brandon Royval, which, I mean, odds-wise in the beginning, it was a little spread out. Like it was, I wouldn't say it was a 50-50 fight, but 60-40, I could have saw, 60% going to Moreno, other 40 going to Royval. But yeah, the kid's impressive. Paul Craig, Shogun, man, I didn't really care for that fight.
But that fight kind of went how I thought it was. I didn't want to count out Shogun because he's Shogun, but it was kind of like, Paul Craig, he's kind of the fresh guy. Is this a little
knock on Shogun for tapping to strikes? Do you tap to strikes? Is that a thing?
You heard me. So I missed most of this fight. I showed up right at the end of this fight to your house to watch the main card together. Yeah. I've always dogged on people for tapping to strikes. I mean,
the ref, he got in there pretty quick. I mean, maybe a half a second late, but maybe he's getting, in his defense, maybe he's getting older and he's just like, I'm not getting out of this and I don't want to take the punishment. I'm done. But, I'd be real curious to see what a lot of MMA heads feel about that. I don't have an opinion either way.
I'll say this. Shogun has at least earned the reputation of, like, we know he's not a puss.
No.
I'll just say it, right?
Yeah.
He's earned that. And tapping to strikes, I'm not going to call him that. Most people, I'm not saying everybody, I'm saying most people, you better have an injury where you can't defend yourself, and so you're tapping to strikes or whatever. But when Shogun Ruda, to me, that was a case of he already knows he's done. Like you said, he knows he's not going to get out. He didn't want to it's his last fight. He didn't want to get beat up.
So do you think this is kind of his way of saying he's
done? I'm done.
I'm done with fighting. Like, I don't foresee him. I don't see Dana White giving him another pay. I mean, he already said
he's done.
Yeah. I agree.
I mean, the dude, he's done enough. I mean, he's a Pride legend. He's 38 years old, been in more wars than anybody would, care to count.
And really, you could say his Pride days was probably the highlight of his career, even though he came in and did some things in the UFC. I mean, his peak was Pride.
Pride Shogun is one of the, is right up there with one of the greatest fighters of all time.
And he still comes into the UFC and beats Mark Coleman, Chuck Liddell, Lyoto Machida.
Yeah.
Loses to Jones, loses to Henderson, beats a Brendan Vera.
He's the champ.
Yeah. So he's
Hall of Famer.
Oh, for sure. He's already in Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's already in. I think he's already in the UFC.
Yeah. First ballot Hall of Famer. Like, can't take anything away from him. It's all good.
Paul Craig, what does he get? Does he get a top 10 guy?
Sure.
Is it even going to matter? Ooh, what about Johnny Walker and Paul Craig?
That'd be fun.
Because Ryan Spann's already got a fight, right? Or Jimmy Crute. What about Jimmy Crute?
I actually like the Johnny Walker fight. That would be really good.
All right, what did we have after that? Caitlin Chukagian. That was another one that I think we both had Cabello winning, and Chikagian looked good. She was another one that improved from that last fight with Jessica Andrade.
Yeah, but so here's the problem with Chikagian that she's in, right? She lost convincingly to the two girls above her. She is going to have to win a string of fights to get back into that conversation.
Why isn't Lauren Murphy getting any love?
Because she's annoying.
She is kind of annoying.
I can't stand her.
She's kind of growing on me on Twitter. Like I feel kind
of. How dare you?
It's kind of like you giving me crap about Mike Bisping and his. I won't even get into that.
I love Michael Bisping.
We won't even get into why that.
I know, but okay,
but Lauren Murphy, Lauren Murphy, she's on a 4-fight win streak.
Perfect. Give her to Chikagian.
Give her Chikagian or Andrade. Let her and Andrade fight for the number one.
No, Andrade earned that. The way she knocked out Chikagian.
She's only had one fight though.
She destroyed her.
That's true. So then Lauren Murphy gets the winner of Andrade?
No, let Lauren Murphy and Chikagian fight. And then if Lauren Murphy could beat Chikagian, then she earned the next number one contender.
They fought a few years ago. They fought
Chikagian and Lauren Murphy?
Yeah, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, and she beat her.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's fine. It was 4 years ago, over 4 years ago. That's fine. Let her do it again.
Run it back.
Run it back. That's fine.
Tim Means and Platinum Mike Perry coming out to Halo.
That was hilarious.
Does he get cut, or did they keep?
No,
you keep him?
No, he doesn't get cut. Why does he not get cut? For the same thing that I posted on that main card. He was the biggest draw on a pay-per-view card, hands down. Nobody's buying pay-per-views to watch Valentina Shevchenko, which is a shame. Love her, best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet, in my opinion. Most people don't even know Davison Figueiredo's name. Most of them think he's Jesus Formiga. Like, nobody knows who he is. He's just the guy with the red spray paint.
Yeah.
And I bet that 80% of the people, 90%, 95% of the people watching last night, if you would have said, go point out Alex Perez out of a lineup of flyweights on the UFC roster without the name next to it, not one of them, they couldn't, 95% couldn't do it.
Yeah, they're not doing it.
Mike Perry was the draw on the pay-per-view last night. He's not going anywhere.
I just don't like him missing weight that much.
Well, neither do I. But he's never done it before, and we've seen multiple fenders. Freaking Henry Cejudo missed weight like 2 or 3 times.
Did you hear Henry Cejudo's also not out punching old guys in a bar
that we know of.
He's
also picking fights with Valentina Shevchenko to try to become the quadruple champ fighting women. So
did you see the post-fight interview with Tim Means when they were asking him about Mike Perry? Because Mike Perry was messaging him throughout the week.
Yeah.
Eating cheeseburgers.
Yeah.
Oh man. But Tim Means handled it with class. He's like, you know what? I didn't care. He gave me $27,000. What do I care? Which, I mean, as a fighter, I don't think I would care. Like, all right, go ahead and give me 30%. I'll take your 30%.
So that means Mike Perry makes $90,000 to show.
Is that all he made?
Mike Perry makes $90,000 to show. You think Mike Perry's getting cut? No way. I'm telling you right now, the UFC cannot cut Mike Perry because he would instantly become the biggest draw rating for Bellator tomorrow.
Or bare knuckle.
Oh gosh, he'd be a monster at bare knuckle.
What about him and Robbie Lawler?
That was already supposed to be the fight.
I know that's what I mean. Like, I'd be okay with that one. Even though I don't want to see either one of them anymore, but.
No, I don't want to watch that.
I don't really want to watch Mike Perry with anybody in the top 15. That's the problem.
He's not a top 15 guy.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Who's he going to fight? Is he a gatekeeper? Is he a gatekeeper now?
To the top 15? Sure. Whatever.
Just be like, hey, you're going to throw him in Mike Perry? Because
you know what? Let him move up to 185. Give him a bunch of cans, and
give him Alex Pereira.
He'd take that fight in a heartbeat. Are you kidding me?
He'd be laying face down too.
Oh yeah, 100%. But I'm not worried about that. No, give him a bunch of cans. Let him get like on a 4 or 5 fight win streak and let him fight Darren Till.
That would be fun.
Please. That's all I want. This is the most irresponsible thing I'm going to say on this podcast as far as setting up fighters to get beat up. That's all I want is to watch him and Darren Till fight.
Oh man,
the UFC screwed up so bad by giving Darren Till the push and pushing him up to the top without letting him fight Mike Perry on the way up. They screwed up so bad on that because they'll never be close enough to fight now. And that's all everybody wants to see. At least that's what I want to see. But I think most people want to see that because I think it's a great fight.
I do too.
For entertainment value, not competitive wise, but entertainment value. The amount of trash talking at weigh-ins, press conferences,
it would be epic.
In the cage during the walkouts.
Epic.
It would be awesome.
Valentina Shevchenko does what she does, and just other than the second round, which
okay, but she's officially entered elite status. Okay, this is elite status to me. When somebody wins one round against you, and people talk about how great of a close fight it was, even though you pretty much dominated the other four as the champion. You were all over it. I'll give her Jennifer Maia the props. Like she came in, she tried her best. She wasn't intimidated by the moment, like whatever. But she was, at the end of the day, she was no match for Valentina Shevchenko. And everybody was talking about, it was a pretty competitive fight. Yeah. She won one round, folks. She got pretty much controlled or beat up the other four.
And as far as that takedown, Shevchenko had a couple nice takedowns in that fight too. Like she's on another level.
Dude.
She looks like a freaking action figure. Like
she is an action figure.
Ripped. She's a spy. She's a Russian spy.
She's a Russian spy. I don't even think she's a spy. Like she's just an assassin, dude.
Yeah, she's gonna be. Yeah.
Well,
I'm a fan. Who fights? Like, I mean, who do you want to see her fight? Do you want to see her go up and fight Nunes again? Is that the fight?
Yeah.
Even with the size difference. Yeah, because Nunes is up to 145 now. That's a big difference.
Yeah, but she'll come back down. But the last one was a split decision, and a lot of people thought that Valentina won that fight. And let's be honest, what else is there for her besides Jessica Andrade? There's nothing at that division. Yep. We're almost to the point after her Nunes fights. We're almost to the point where they should both just go take a hike for 18 to 24 months to see if they could build up some like legit contenders. Like do like a tournament to be a number one contender tournament. Cause Valentina and Nunes have pretty much cleared out both those divisions already.
Yeah. I like Andrade, and I think she could create a little bit of problems, but I get same result. She creates problems because of her power, right? She hits like a Mack truck. She's probably the only other girl in the division that can change the fight with one punch. But she gets hit a lot too. She gets hit.
She gets hit, and if Valentina's the girl that she can end the show in a split second too.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, it's like Chukakian, nope, seen that. Maya, just saw that. Calvillo, no thank you, just got demolished by Chukakian. Lauren Murphy, not a chance. She can call for it all she wants. Jessica I, we've already seen how that played out.
Yeah.
Played out by her getting laid out. Joanna Calderwood, okay, but it's just there's nothing. Macy Barber is a big up-and-comer.
She's still a few fights away, I think.
She's that we need time to build up a couple legitimate contenders again. They've both cleared out those divisions.
How old is Valentina? She's only 32. She's got a couple more years. Do you think Nunes is going to come back the same as she was after having this kid?
I don't know.
I've been thinking about that lately. I think that's going to that might change some things. I know, but
some fighters get better.
Yeah, she could. I don't know. It's just another
distraction.
I wouldn't say I don't want to call it a distraction, but it's another thing to just kind of.
Let's call it. It is. It's not a distraction because distraction. You think of the word distraction as like a negative.
Yeah.
And having a kid's not a negative, but it is something that pulls your energy. Another thing that pulls your energy away from MMA. Yeah. Unquestionably. Yeah. So in that sense, yes, it's a distraction. Not as a negative though.
You got to put her up there as one of the pound for pound best.
Oh, and by the way, she like played around on the ground with Jennifer Maia for a pretty healthy amount of that fight.
Yeah.
You know, like
And Maia could do nothing.
It was almost like Valentina was like, "I'm not afraid of you. Like, we'll play the whole first 2 rounds in your world, and then the last 3 rounds you're gonna come into my world and see how it goes."
Yeah. Well, I'm impressed. Main event, I think we both knew what was going to happen on this one too. We thought Figgy was going to win. I didn't think it was going to be that quick, but it was. And now we're on to Figueiredo. How about the champ calling out Moreno?
Well, Moreno called it out first.
I know, but for him to say that after the thing, like, I mean,
it's what he should do.
You don't see that very often, though. You don't see the champs calling out people like that.
But I made the post, right? I made the post. If Figueiredo's going to become a superstar, this is what you do.
Yeah.
Very smart. And it looks like he understands this, or at least has somebody in his ear that understands this. This is what you do. Conor became a star because he fought frequently, he finished people, and he made himself marketable. Now Figueiredo has a little bit of different edge because he doesn't speak English.
That's right? If he gets a little bit of it, yeah.
That makes it hard. But I guarantee you, because here the biggest thing with him is he is fresh on everybody's mind. He just knocked out Benavidez on Fight Island. Then he comes in, he guillotines Alex Perez super quick. If he comes out and then finishes Brandon Moreno super quick, 1, 2, 3 in like 3 wins in 5 months, and now nobody remembers that he missed weight the first time against Joey Benavidez.
No.
Nobody cares. Nope. Right now, the narrative becomes this guy's a killer, and he's literally knocking them down as fast as they can come up. And he's going to get an opportunity to move up to the 135 really quick. We're going to see, or if Cody Garbrandt could get healthy after the Brandon Moreno fight, we're going to see that. To me, I give Cody a slight edge, but Figueiredo could absolutely knock out Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, he could
absolutely, or choke him out or something. He's incredibly well-rounded and skilled. Yeah. Unfortunately, the fight that I really want to see is him and Mighty Mouse.
That would be a fun fight too.
That would be crazy because Mighty Mouse doesn't really get hit or submitted.
Yeah, you throw those, or even, Brandon Moreno's only 26 years old too. Like, this guy's going to be around for a long time.
Oh, Brandon Moreno's going to be around.
He's going to be the champ.
Brandon Moreno hasn't even scratched his prime yet.
Yeah, even if he loses to Figgy, it's a win-win situation for him.
Which I think he will the first time.
But it's not going to do anything.
But Brandon Moreno, he's not going anywhere.
He's still
and I think he has a chance. I think right now he's the only guy on the UFC roster that has a chance to beat him.
Yeah, there's nobody else in that flyweight division that I can see that will come close to him. I really don't. I think Roy Val is young, and I think he has a chance to be up there.
I think if he beats Moreno, I think the next fight you might see is Figgy going up and fighting for an interim belt at 135 against like an Aljamain Sterling to see, depending on how long Peter Yan's out.
That sucks that fight. I was so looking forward to that fight.
He went on a Facebook Live today, or on Instagram. He went live on Instagram, and I tried to watch it, but he was talking in Russian, so I had no idea what he was talking about.
I like Sterling. Do you follow Sterling on Twitter?
Absolutely.
He is super active. All the time. I really like him.
He lives his life on Twitter.
Yeah, I wish we could get him to come on the podcast. I'm just going to start calling people out on Twitter to see if I can get him to come on the podcast.
You should call out Michael Bisping.
I've tried. Do you see all the times I tweet at him?
I see all the mean stuff you say about him.
I just put clown gifs on there, and he's very opinionated on certain things that, yeah.
He's British. He gets to be.
I love him as a fighter. I hate him as a commentator.
That's fine.
What
about his press?
He is the Chris Collinsworth of MMA.
That's so disrespectful.
He is. We should do a poll. We should do a poll on the Facebook group and see what people think of Bisping's commentating.
I
can't be the only one.
You are. You have to take it. You have to take it for what it is. And he's entertaining. He is not there to be He's John Madden. He's John Madden. John Madden was not on Monday Night Football or whatever because he was a great coach a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
But he was not on there to be like, he's not Tony Romo who's sitting there predicting plays and incredible. He's on there to be the personality, and so people can kind of laugh at him.
Yeah, well, I do
That's
laugh at him.
That's what he's on there for, and that's what he's there for.
I do laugh at him. Well,
He's hilarious.
All in all, to change the subject off of freaking Bisbee, I thought the card was good Saturday. I thought it was good.
Dude, really fun card. Really, really fun card. I think you definitely got your money's worth on the on the pay-per-view. But all in all, I look at it and it's really fun. And then we can look forward to a fun breakdown on
we got our man from across the pond joining us on Wednesday.
Yeah, so we have
James. This is Curtis Blaze and Derek Lewis card this coming weekend. Anthony Smith is back. This will be a fun card too.
Is it a great card? Because I remember thinking, I'm like,
I mean, there's some. The bottom half of it is you're getting a lot of these newer guys. Kai Maka's on there.
I like him.
He's on the prelims.
Who else do I like on here?
I don't know, but I love Norma Dumont. I love her.
Ashley Evans Smith.
I love Norma Dumont.
Rachel Ostovich is back.
Austin.
Is she the only losing record on the UFC roster?
I think so. Doesn't she have an OnlyFans?
I don't know. That's your world, bro, not mine.
I mean, I just saw, I think she posted it. I'm not that I'm a follower or anything on there. Hey, OnlyFans gets a bad rap, but let me just tell you, there is a lot of people in the fitness world that are using that, and not as a sexual. This is not as a sexual thing. There's a lot of people using that to make money. We should do one for the podcast.
Hey, I told you this months ago.
What?
OnlyFans is going to turn into a platform. Like Snapchat used to just be the D-pic app.
Yep.
And then it turned into a mainstream social media, right?
It is.
Well, now OnlyFans started as the whatever you want to label it as.
The boobies.
The whatever website. But it's going to turn into something that
it's already trending that way.
If you are an athlete
in the fitness industry, it is.
I am going to give you a little tidbit. If you are an MMA athlete trying to make a name for yourself in the MMA world, and you're a professional fighter or an amateur fighter, you should 100% go and make an OnlyFans account and put on their content for your fans to come follow you, and then try and see if you can get them to pay for exclusive training videos, exclusive weight cutting videos, exclusive behind the scenes, like getting your hands taped and like warming up before a fight videos, things like that. Dude, that's free money out there that there are fans that would pay a couple bucks to see. There's fans of yours. I guarantee it. There's some names out here in Utah that there are people that would pay to see that. And I think that is the direction that OnlyFans is going to go. I just got done explaining. I think fighters should be using OnlyFans to sell like their own personal workout videos, content, getting their hands wrapped before a fight, warming up before a fight. I mean, all those things are videos that I think that people would, and I think it will turn into that. I mean, the fact that like LeBron James hasn't started an OnlyFans to like have people come in and pay, $10 a month or $20 a month to watch him work out or have him even do basketball drills and explain to it. Like, that's crazy. They're just leaving tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars on the table by doing that.
I see it in the fitness industry. I see these girls that post these pictures on Instagram, and they basically what they're doing is they're going from Instagram to OnlyFans. Same pictures, no nudity, but they're charging people for a swimsuit picture or a workout video or giving somebody a nutrition plan through there and paying for it. It's transitioning
coming.
Big time.
It's coming. The only downside right now is, if I understand it, is OnlyFans takes like 20%. And I think if somebody came in and either redid the website or OnlyFans dropped that down to like in the 5 to 10% range, I think it would just freak, man, if you're a quarterback in the NFL, a rookie quarterback trying to make it in the NFL, you were just drafted out of college. Jordan Burrow, hello, poor guy.
Yeah.
Good luck on your recovery. Blew out his ACL and MCL yesterday.
Clay
Thompson, if you're that guy, dude, OnlyFans and have a documentary crew, somebody on a freaking iPhone record you going through all your rehab and all that stuff. Dude, people would pay to watch that.
You could just do $4.99, $5 a month. People would do it. Hell, I'd probably do it just to see his
10,000 people plus would do it.
Yeah.
10,000 people would do it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So back to fighting. Spike Carlisle's back, and he is so fun to watch.
Oh yeah, Spike. He's fighting Bill Algeo.
Yeah, the Alpha Ginger. If you've never watched this guy, he is like, if you could imagine somebody just taking like a Red Bull and like all the adrenaline and everything in the world and shooting it into their veins and then watching him fight for 15 minutes, that is Spike Carlisle, ladies and gentlemen.
It's going to be a good one.
Even the fights that I've seen him lose, which was his last one, it wasn't boring. He's never boring, dude. He's super fun to watch. Amir Albazi, he's a super good flyweight. I mean, he's looking to get into the top 15 and make a name for himself.
Takashi Sato and Miguel Baez is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
At welterweight, that'll be a good one.
Yeah, Miguel Baez is no joke, dude.
Who else we got on there?
And then, of course, you have Anthony Smith. And I mean, I hate to say it because I love Derek Lewis, and we all want Derek Lewis because we all want the post-fight interview with Derek Lewis. I think Curtis Blades beats him easily and makes it look really easy.
I think he does too.
It's a bummer.
We'll have to – yeah, we definitely have to watch a lot of videos this week because a lot of these guys I'm not familiar with, especially in that first half of the card.
Yeah, me neither.
But it's a free card. I'm going to enjoy it. I know you are.
It's all free on ESPN?
ESPN Plus. The prelims are on ESPN Plus, and then it's broadcasted, it looks like, on ESPN 2. Yeah, cool. So there you go. Heck yeah. Free card. And a fan-friendly card.
I like it.
Dude, what's up with the tell us a little bit about the website you got working on. Or do you want to save that?
Oh, I'm revamping the Damage Plan. The Damage Plan website. So before, the website that Jason had taken over it was good. It just wasn't as user friendly. We're going to create a website that is just a little bit more, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be organized a little bit better, and it's going to have more to it. It's going to have more links to our social media and to the podcast. It looks like we're going to have Shelby Administer doing some blogging for us on there, talking about local fights once those get up and going again, hopefully in January. Fingers crossed for all the fighters getting ready for January. We are going to have our Damage Plan fight team on there and profiles for all of our fighters that are part of the Damage Plan fight team, people like Camp Mafaleo, Zach Cavender, and myself, and hopefully some others. We're just it's going to be a fun little website. And then hopefully, we can, Jason and I, that's where we'll kind of start posting some of our picks and stuff like that as well. If people want to follow, people that are into that type of stuff. It's just going to be fun. And then of course we'll get back to the nuts and bolts of, we're going to have some pretty sweet apparel on there, Damage Plan apparel. Well, the hoodies that I sold, those are going to come without the logos as well. Those did really well. People seem to really dig those. I mean, they're freaking cool. Me and Jason kind of came up with that design and did really well. These, Yeti-like mugs, Damage Plan Yeti-like mugs, they'll be on there. We'll get some beanies, some hats. But we're really going to work on changing and getting a little bit unique in the apparel and not just the common, just, t-shirts and a hat, but we're going to have some cool stuff on there that I think some people are really, really going to dig. So I'm working on that. Hopefully my goal is to have it to be, the layout done, by the end of this month. And then me and Jason can figure out, the perfect design for it. So January 1st, we can launch our brand new website and rock into 21, just better than ever. Hopefully like everything else, and COVID free.
Should we do a Black Friday sale for those Do Damage hoodies?
Yes.
Maybe just do like a pre-sale for Black Friday and then have them, have them ready for everybody that purchases them in 14 days, 10 days.
10 days.
I could have them. Yeah, we could have them done in 10 days. If they order them by Friday,
So
we'll have the cutoff Friday at midnight.
Okay.
And we'll make a post. We'll put a post in the group and on our Facebook pages. But then Friday at midnight, cut it off, and then we'll have them 10 days later.
So what's the sell? They're normally $60. How much are we going to sell them for?
I don't know. What do you think? $50? 45?
45. It's 25% off.
That's cheap for those hoodies, by the way. Very cheap. For those. Like these aren't cheap hoodies. Like
these are not like the cheap cotton hoodies. Like they're heavy,
heavy
nice,
duty.
comfy.
They're if you go to Shields or go to any sporting clothing store and you look up the Rocks hoodies that he has with the Brahma Bull on the front, it's that hoodie, and that sells for 60, 70 bucks, 80 bucks, I think is what they're selling them for. They might be a little cheaper now because they've been around for a while, but they high quality hoodies. I like it.
Freaking do damage with the American flag on it. Come on now. It's freaking sick.
Doesn't get more badass than that, does it?
Nope.
Is that it for today? Are we done? Back on Wednesday? 2:00 on Wednesday, we'll be live with our buddy from across the pond.
James, you're going to love his accent, folks.
Hunter, I'm coming for you again tonight. I'm bringing my guy. It's going down. Can we do you know what we should do? A little poster. Me and Hunter.
Oh, no.
UFC 4. If there's anybody else that wants to smoke on UFC 4,
oh, no.
Hit us up. That's it for the day. Thanks for listening, guys. We out.